and welcome to episode 4 of Talkin Shit with Ava Lisette. Hi, I'm Ava Lisette. So today, I wanted to talk about TV shows because, oh my god, I just finished season 1 of Severance and we're about to start season 2 tonight. Oh my god, it is such a great fucking show. I literally need to talk about it so much. So spoilers ahead, we will be talking about that. We're also going to touch on Breaking Bad, Sopranos, and Bojack Horseman, because that is literally my favorite show of all time. Let me go ahead and write that down so that I don't forget, because I have a tendency to forget to talk about things if I don't have them right in front of me. So let's go ahead and start off with fragrance of the day. So as you can see, we kind of got a little bit of a jumbled mess over here. So I have recently been doing a triple fragrance, so like to really just like amp it up and make sure that my fragrance lasts all day long. So I start off with this, which is the Sand and Fog Vanilla Musk, and I got this and this cherry one at Marshall's. I think they were both like $15 or something like that. Like one of them was 12, one of them was 15. So for this one, the top notes are icy sugar power. Hello, can I English? Sorry. Okay. Top notes are icy sugar powder, coconut, anise. Middle notes are vanilla orchid and vanilla powder. And base notes are amber, vanilla, and musk. And when I tell you, oh my god, it's like a sweet musk, if that makes sense. Like it's like a lighter, because usually for like musks and like gourmands, I feel like they usually have like a deeper sort of smell. This one is like very light. And then I do the Billie Eilish #1 on top. We talked about this one last week. I love this so much. We did that on top of that. And then last time I think I talked about the cherry note that I like to put on top of it. And that's usually this one, which is Tarte Deco by Sniff. And the only reason that I haven't been using this one as often lately, you can kind of see she's on her last legs, okay? Like I'm just saving her for special occasions now because this one is very strong. Even though it's an eau de toilette and not a parfum, so don't talk about my pronunciation. I don't speak French, all right? And then this one, I literally could not get any information on the notes for this one. So it literally just said cherry. And I was like, okay, I believe you. Because this is very cherry. There's really nothing else to say about it. And then for anybody who did not listen last week, let me tell you about this one. Is this the right one? Yes. So this one by Billie Eilish is an amber gourmand. The top notes are sugared petals, mandarin, warm berries. Middle is creamy vanilla, soft spices, and cocoa. And base is sleek woods, warm musks, and tonka beans. Love that. And then the Sniff Tarte Deco is top note is cherry, raspberry, and apple brandy. It's very fruity. And then dry birchwood, dry notes. Interesting. I've never heard about that before. I'm still like getting into my fragrance junkiness. You know what I mean? So birchwood, cedarwood, vetiver, vanilla, and orchinox. Never heard of that before, but I'm still learning. This one is a lot stronger than this one because it obviously has a lot more notes, because this one literally just says like cherry. And I was like, okay. But this one, it has like a much deeper smell because of like the woodiness in it. And I love the packaging for this because it has a magnet on it. I love that. Okay. So anyway, those are fragrances of the day. Let's go ahead and get into TV. So I am the type of person who really likes to watch animated shows. I really love like just stupid humor. So like Family Guy, American Dad. American Dad is way funnier than Family Guy, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Cleveland Show. I've never watched South Park though, which a lot of people do give me the side eye when I say that. So I apologize. I do not watch South Park. Nothing against South Park. I just never got into it. I watched Archer, watching Futurama. There's like so many different shows that I've just always like loved. I've just always had like an attachment to watching animated shows. I don't know what it is, but I just find them, I think they're a lot funnier because of how stupid they are. My favorite show for a long time was Big Mouth. So if that tells you anything about me, there you go. But recently, a couple years ago, so not that recently, my fiance wanted to watch Bojack Horseman because he had only seen like a few episodes like in the first season, and he was like, yeah, like we should watch the show together. Like I haven't seen it, you haven't seen it, like let's watch it together. when I tell you I was not at all expecting for that show to become my favorite show of all time, and not because it's funny, because it touches on so many deep topics that you would not expect. Because the first episode, the pilot episode, literally does not set the tone for what the show's going to be like in any way, shape, or form. Like, I mean, you kind of understand that Bojack is just like an asshole, and like that's pretty much his whole thing, is that he's just a jackass. But like, as the show goes on, nearing the end of season 1, again, spoilers for all of these shows. These shows have been out for years. Other than Severance, these shows have all been out for years. So if you haven't watched them yet, you need to go watch them. But for Bojack, like, oh my God. By the end of season 1, he just starts to make these really shitty decisions, and then you start to realize, like, oh, I can't root for this guy. Like, he's just constantly making the worst possible decision in every scenario. And the stuff that happened in New Mexico, oh my God. Oh my God. The stuff that happened in New Mexico, literally, I was like, there's no way. There's no way this is about to happen right now. No. Like, when Penny goes in to the boat with him, oh my God. I literally, every time I think about it, I just like want to crawl out of my own skin. Like, it's just so, he just makes horrible decisions. And then later on with Sarah Lynn, don't talk to me about it. And then just like the show in general, like aside from Bojack, has talked about so many incredible topics that I really never watched in TV. Because like I said, I'm mostly watching comedies. I'm not really a big drama person. I just got into dramas like these last couple years. So that touched on things like drug abuse, alcohol abuse, dementia. There's an episode about his mother's dementia, which is, oh my God, it's like discombobulating. Like when you're watching it, it makes you think, is this really what it's like for people who have dementia? Like, where they seriously do not realize where they are, and it's almost like all of their timelines are just jumbled. They're just a jumbled mess. And I feel like that episode specifically just breaks my heart, because I have family members who have dementia, and watching that decline is one of the hardest things to watch happen, because at some point they forget who you are, and that is like the most heartbreaking thing ever. And so that that episode really just like touched my heart, because I was like, oh my God, like I didn't even realize how severe it is. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, you know, it's severe. Like, if it's mental decline, we know that it's like a bad thing, but I never realized just how much of it was just all over the place. I don't know. I feel like I'm not articulating this very well, but anyway, dementia episode is great. Free churro. When I tell you, me and Tyler, we were watching that, and this was pretty early on in our relationship, so I had not seen Tyler cry at this point. That was the first time I ever saw that man cry. And we were literally sitting there, jaws on the floor, tears streaming down our face, because we were like, oh my God. Free churro, if you're not going to watch it, or if you have seen it, spoilers ahead, Free churro is the eulogy that he gives to his mother. And the entire episode is just one long monologue, aside from like the intro to it is him with his dad and his childhood, and then his dad's just like ranting at him. And then in this episode, the ICU, oh my God, it's literally just so gut-wrenching. Like, he talks about his relationship with his mom, and there's one quote in it, and I might misquote this because I can't remember it like off the top of my head, but he says like, my family, like, we all knew that we were drowning, but at least we were drowning together, like something along those lines. And I remember hearing that, I was like, oh my God, because I feel like even though my childhood was not nearly as bad as Bojack's, like his childhood was fucking awful, there's definitely parallels. And I feel like in any TV show, like, people can take from TV like things that resonate with their own experiences. And I feel like that was something that I felt a lot. Like, it did feel like me and each person in my family, like, we were all drowning, but at least we were drowning together. So it wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? So that episode, near and dear to my heart. And usually I'll put Bojack on like just in the background. But if that episode pops up now, like, I literally every single time I have to sit there and watch it. Like, my phone is away. It's put away. and I need to watch that episode in its entirety because it is that good. I love that episode. And then, of course, everybody talks about it, The View from Halfway Down. That is the second to last episode before the end of Bojack Horseman. And it is just truly like the pinnacle of existential dread. Because it's, I don't even know how to articulate this. But like, The View from Halfway Down is basically him just before he dies. It's like his subconscious mind trying to make everything okay before he dies. And just there's so many things about it, like the song that Sarah Lynn sings, and then when you go back and rewatch it, you realize that the song that Sarah Lynn is singing is the song that Gina sings, and it's just, oh my gosh, there's so many things about that show that I just love so deeply. And another thing about that show, I am not exaggerating when I say each rewatch you find something new every single time, whether it's like a little Easter egg or something like really big that was underlying the whole time. There is something new each rewatch, and that is something that I just love so much. I love it when a TV show has a good rewatch because I like to watch the same things over and over and over again. I don't like to branch out very often. And recently I have been branching out a little bit more, and I'm glad that I'm doing that. But a lot of the times I have my comfort shows that I like to watch over and over and over again. And I heard that has to do with like anxiety, and I don't know. It's just, it feels safe for some reason. So I love Bojack so much. Another show that I rewatched more recently was The Sopranos. I got into The Sopranos. My friend Pierce, I love you. My friend Pierce put me onto The Sopranos last year for their birthday, or 2 years ago for their birthday. I think it might have been last year, because we were all just hanging out. Like, we didn't have a big party for their birthday, and we were all just hanging out at my friend Carly's house, and they were like, oh, is it okay if we just like put on the first episode of The Sopranos? And from just watching that first episode, I was like, oh, I'm hooked. I need to watch this. So then I got into The Sopranos. That was probably like one of the first dramas that I've watched in a very long time. I would say before that, the last drama that I had watched was like Euphoria. And that was only really because everybody was watching Euphoria, you know? So I watched The Sopranos all the way through. And then as soon as I finished it, Tyler wanted to watch it. And so I was like, okay, perfect. So now I get to rewatch, and now I get to see all of the context to things that I didn't realize before, like all the foreshadowing. So when I started watching The Sopranos, oh my God, it's just, that is another show that is also a great like rewatch as well. Something that I have not rewatched yet is Breaking Bad, because we literally just finished Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. And then we also watched El Camino, of course. But we just finished that. That is probably one of the best TV series I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, just the entire universe, all three of them, so amazing. And it was so funny because Tyler literally told me before we started watching Breaking Bad, he was like, yeah, so I personally think that Better Call Saul is the best of the three, and El Camino is like it's not the worst, but it's like in the tier list is 3, but all of them are good. And I completely agree with that statement. It literally goes Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad, and then El Camino. El Camino, I feel like, is kind of just like a filler to let you know what happened to Jesse after Breaking Bad. And I do feel like it is necessary, but it is probably the weakest out of all of them. But Better Call Saul is, oh my God. Everything tied in so perfectly, like just wrapped it nicely with a bow. And by the end of it, it was, I didn't feel empty when it was over. Obviously, when you finish The Sopranos, you feel pretty fucking empty because you're like, what the fuck happened? What happened to the rest of this fucking episode? And now I literally cannot hear Don't Stop Believing without thinking about it. Like, literally. And it pisses me off because I know that it's supposed to be like the anti-ending and you're not supposed to know what happens to Tony Soprano. But I'm like, I need to know what happened to Tony Soprano. But in Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, like in Better Call Saul specifically, they took the entire story, both after Breaking Bad took place, the prequel, everything, and just made it so perfect that I was like, I'm satisfied. I have no further questions, and I love everything that you just given to me, okay? Give it to me again. I'm probably going to rewatch all of it all over again, but I loved Better Call Saul so much. And I also wanted to talk about how I recently found out that Breaking Bad has a really good litmus test. And that is, if a man hates Skylar White, that's a red flag. Because, no, let's get into it. Because last month, I went out for my friends Pierce and Elle's birthdays. And we went like bar hopping and we were hanging out with like their mutual friends. And there were two guys there. They were cool. But at one point we start talking about, like, one of the guys asked me, like, oh, like, what do you usually like to watch? Or like, what kind of TV do you like to watch? And then I said, like, oh yeah, like I just finished Breaking Bad. And then we all started talking about Breaking Bad. We got into the most heated argument. Me and Elle were like a part of this. Elle was in this with me. Like, oh my God, we were both just like, no, you don't understand. We were like standing up. We were slamming the table because these guys were literally saying like, fuck Skylar White. And me and Elle are like, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean fuck Skylar White? She's literally cleaning up the mess that Walter put on their family. And they're like, but Walter was doing it for good reason and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, hold on. Walter was not doing it for good reason, okay? First of all, cooking meth, that is not just something that people just, start doing because they need the cash, okay? Maybe they do. But anyway, like, Walter White, at a certain point in that show, becomes prideful, and that is what is his downfall. If he was just doing it to make sure that his family was supported after he dies from cancer, that would be like, okay, that would make sense. Okay, yeah, cool, you're a good person or whatever, like you morally, like you just wanted to do good for your family, whatever. But that's not what it was. That is not at all what it was. Because at one point he wanted to be the kingpin. He wanted to be Heisenberg. So he needed to make sure that he had all of that power. And Skylar is over here like, okay, but what about, where is this money going to be coming from in the eyes of the IRS or in the eyes of everybody around us? Where is that money going to be coming from? She was cleaning up his mess the entire fucking time. I fuck with Skylar White hardcore. And I feel like other men that fuck with Skylar White, that's a true feminist. That's a true feminist right there. And my man is one of them, okay? And so is Elle's man. Because literally, I look over at Elle's boyfriend Noah, and I was like, listen, what's your opinion on Skylar White? Because I'm about to crash out right now. And he's like, oh, yeah, Skylar's cool. And I was like, oh, thank God. Thank God there is at least one man here that agrees that Skylar White is not fucking awful. And I just feel like men are like, oh, it's just his bitch wife that doesn't let him do whatever the fuck he wants to do. She's trying to protect her fucking family. What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh my God. It literally pisses me off so bad. Like, I got so heated in that argument. And it wasn't anything like crazy. Like, I don't hate those guys for like saying that shit. It was a fun conversation, but I was a little like, I don't know how I feel about you. I'm kind of scared, Loki. I'm kind of scared now because it's just, I don't know. I feel like that really says a lot about a person if they really just like hate Skylar White, but they can't really give you a reason other than like, oh, she didn't let him do what he wanted to do. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, anyway, let's get into Severance because we just started watching Severance and we binge watched it. I think 2 days ago, we watched like 4 episodes in a row. Because when I tell you, Severance is one of those shows, first of all, didn't realize that Ben Stiller directed this. Hello, Ben Stiller, you're one of the best fucking directors I've ever seen in my life. It is one of those shows that like you have to watch the next episode immediately. Because the cliffhanger is so intense that you're like, I can't stop watching now. I need to know what the fuck just happened. Okay, so if you don't know, basically what Severance is these people choose to get this procedure called like the severance procedure where they have like a chip implanted in their brain and they go down this elevator when they get to work, and as they're going down the elevator, their brain becomes like almost like a completely new person, if that makes sense. So like they're out, so they call it their innies and their outies. So the innie is the person that's in work and the outie is the person that's outside of work. So the outie is the person who chooses to put the innie inside. The innie only knows the work inside. And it's like when you leave work, you basically come back 2 seconds later and you're in a new outfit. So you don't know any sort of life outside of the office. And then over time you realize that there's some like really like shady shit going on. Like they don't realize, like they don't understand why these things are happening. Like their job does not make sense. They have to look at numbers, and when the numbers are scary, they have to like put them in a bin in the computer or something. It's really weird, like, and it makes no sense. It literally just feels like busy work. So you have no idea what their job even entails. And then you find out that there's other what are they called? Not divisions, but like, what is that called, like in an office space? I don't even know. I've never worked a corporate job. But when you have multiple like different what is that fucking word? Departments. Okay, I'm going to just say departments. So there's different departments, and most of the departments, they don't even know how many departments there are like in total. They have no idea. And then there's two different departments that are like pinned against each other, and there's like this weird like mural painting where they're all like attacking each other, but each side is shown a different story. So like this side is shown, I think it's called the O&R is called like, what was that? Or O&D? I can't remember. Oh my God, it's literally slipping my mind so bad right now. I'm so bad at remembering details. I'm literally so bad at this. I'm so sorry. But okay, so basically, we're just going to call them the artists because that was basically what they do. They put up like the art and stuff around the place. And then the people who do the numbers, they're over here. So this side is getting shown that these are the bad guys, and these guys are getting shown that these are the bad guys. So basically they're just getting pinned against each other. And they're trying to figure out on the inside what to do. And then one of the main characters, Helly, she tries to get her outie to like get her out of it, like undo Severance. I don't want to do this anymore. And her outie is literally like makes a video and tells her like, no, sorry, queen, it's not going to happen. You're staying in there. And like literally she tries to at some point, like, you know, she tries to off herself because she's like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, this is the only life that I know. I do not want to be here. And at the end of the show, or at the end of season 1, which, oh my God. Okay, listen, let me go back on Ben Stiller real quick. Ben Stiller, fuck you for that ending, because I cannot even imagine how hard that must have been to finish season 1. The way that season 1 ended was a smack in the fucking face. Oh my God, it was a smack in the face. Because they come up with this plan where one of the guys, Dylan, stays behind because they figure out a way to turn on their innies while they are outside in the real world. So what they want to do is they want to turn on, because they find out that you can turn it on outside. They sneak into like the security system, and then Dylan is going to like hold down, there's like these 2 levers that you have to hold down to make sure that like it turns on. And Dylan stays behind. He keeps them on. He locks the door to make sure that like the people who are running it like don't come after him. And they're all outside living their regular lives. And then all of a sudden they're like, and they're their innie on the outside. And they have to find somebody to tell about what Severance actually is and how they are actually suffering in this work environment. So Mark, which is the main character, which is the guy from, what show was that? Parks and Rec. He's with his sister, right? He's at like his sister and his brother-in-law is like is an author, and he's doing like a book reading or something. And he tells his sister while he's in his outie, it's so complicated. But like as he's in his innie mind outie world, he's telling his sister about everything that happens. And then we find out that Helly is actually the daughter of the CEO of the company Lumen, who is doing Severance. And that is why her outie so like firmly believes that she's fine, because she's not. And she has no fucking clue. And that is like the craziest thing ever. So literally like the final part. Oh, and then there's also a gay love story in it, which I love, which is between Irving and Bert. And Irving decides to go to Bert's house. Like, this is, again, any mind outie life. Goes to Bert's house. But obviously Bert does not know him, because this is the other thing. You do not know who your coworkers are when you're in there. Oh, it's literally such a great show. And I might have just spoiled it for a lot of you, I apologize, but I did warn you that there were going to be spoilers, okay? This is also going to be a shorter episode because I want to watch Severance like ASAP, and I'm also really hungry. So, that's basically my little spiel about TV. Like, I've been real into TV recently, so I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of that and what shows I love. And honestly, if you have any show recommendations, because now that I'm starting to get more into dramas, I really want to start watching more stuff. And my roommate Carly told me that I should watch White Lotus next because I have not watched that yet. So that is probably going to be next on my list. So let's go ahead and do our... Oh, wow, this is a really short episode. This is like less than 30 minutes. It's fine. What if you got something to do? You might got something to do. I don't know. Okay, so let's go over the Airbuds recap, which, by the way, I forgot to mention this in my last 3 episodes, and I apologize, Carly. I'm so sorry. Carly is actually the person who introduced literally our entire friend group to Airbuds, and she literally started a trend. Like, so many people that we know have Airbuds now, and it's all because of Carly. So, just wanted to give the credit where the credit is due. So, my tracks of the week, number 1, Saturn by SZA again. 2 is Luther by Kendrick Lamar and SZA. 3 is Nissan Altima by Doechii. Fucking love that song. That song is amazing. I love Doechii. Damn Right by Jenny, Childish Gambino, and Kelly Uchis. I just heard that song for like the first time last week. I'm obsessed. Love it, love it, love it. And then Circles by Pierce the Veil. And then we have our album of the week is again Papota from Catriel and Paco Amoroso. I listen to that every single morning when I'm on my way to work. So it's probably going to be top album for a minute. Artist of the week, Catriel and Paco Amoroso, Pierce the Veil, and Pretty Much. Oh, I said last week that I was going to talk about Pretty Much. Okay, let's talk about that just a little bit, okay? So pretty much, literally, I had a huge obsession with them. When they first started out, like in 2017, 2018. So they were like this boy band, right? And I guess Simon Cowell put them together. I need to check my facts on that, but I was obsessed. I had a friend at the time who was like, she was very into stan culture. I'm sure she probably still is. But she was like, oh my God, you need to hear about this new boy band. And she started like introducing me to them. And we ended up going to, I believe, their very first show that they ever did, which was, this is so embarrassing. I went to Teen Fest, which if you don't know what Teen Fest is, congratulations. But Teen Fest is the Teen Choice Awards, but like separate from the Teen Choice Awards, where it's basically just like a show where like all of these different bands and like performers go on. I saw Sleeping with Sirens there for the first time. That was the only reason that I wanted to go, was for Sleeping with Sirens. But I also ended up seeing Pretty Much there, and they put on a great fucking show because not only were they singers, they were dancers too. And they did a really, really great job. So I'm still kind of rocking with Pretty Much. I don't really like their newer stuff that came out like within the last couple years. I would say my favorite era for them was like 2017 to 2019. So I have like a list of songs like Would You Mind, Teacher, Open Arms. Those songs, I'm like, I love these songs because they do have like kind of like that 90s sort of sound, but like with a modern twist. I love them so much. I think they broke up a couple years ago, so that's a little sad. But you know, it is what it is. But anyway, that's my little spiel about Pretty Much. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. And what else? Is there anything else? Nope, I think that's it. Okay, so I'm beautiful. You are beautiful. We are all beautiful. I love you so much. Have a great day.